and deliver us a good word today. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. So right now, we don't want to sit in judgment. We just want to give him an undivided attention, give him a little push and a little encouragement, because everybody knows it's not easy to get up here. It's a little difficult sometimes. So he's going to come up here and lead us and guide us in an encouraging word today. All right? All right. So now I want to bring to you Midway, one of Midway's finest, Midway's very own, Brian Tuller Cheney for the word for the day. Amen.
Good evening, family.
Good evening.
I know it's cold and they told me to make it quick. All right. It's all right. You see, this is a day of reflection for us. It's a past, it's a present, and a history. My leader often tells us the story of our community history and past. She tells us the story that in the midst of her darkness, she witnessed the burden of the cross by those black knights. In the midst of the lights from Shine Tunnel to Bryce Debo, including myself, we live orange, black, and white, making millions of dollars for those same black knights. Y'all don't hear me, but it's all right. I'm home tonight. You see, we heard you, Daddy Larry, when you told us education was our freedom. We heard you. For we watched you work hard, purchase your land, and create your mortgage. We heard you. We saw you, Uncle Rosie. We call it gardening, but you're planting those seeds. Well, it's harvest time because your seeds are reproduced and manifested. We know you, Mother Betty, and you're not here today. We felt your joy when you went outside our community and raised other kids and came home and did the same for us. You see, Carl G. Woodson said it best. Desegregation will weaken us as a people, weaken our community. We'll move out of our community fighting to be accepted when there is no acceptance. That's all right. You see, he also said that we will forget to go back and extend a hand to our community. Y'all don't hear me, but it's all right. I Can is home tonight. The strength of our community has always been togetherness, forever. Our bond, you know, it was intentionally done that we allowed them to weaken our community. We don't have to worry about it anymore. You see, we shouldn't worry about planning the trip without calling Brother Mike. We shouldn't worry about buying some land or a house without calling Brother Kelly. We shouldn't worry about whether our kids are being educated because we have educators here and Brother Alvin sits at the table. We shouldn't worry about where our community is going because Sister Leanne sits on your planning board. We shouldn't worry about commerce because Brother Alfonso and the Ellis have been traveling the highway for years. We shouldn't worry about substance abuse because Brother Eric is a licensed counselor. We shouldn't worry about landscapers, plumbers, carpenters. We shouldn't worry about none of that because we got good brothers like Brother Skeeble that have mastered that craft. Y'all don't hear me, but it's all right. I Can is home tonight. I'm going to leave you with this. Cocoa, coffee. Coffee, hot chocolate. No matter how you water it down, it's still black and brown. And our great nation is learning that they have to accept us being black and brown. Again, y'all don't hear me tonight, but it's all right, because I Can has came home tonight. We thank you and may God bless you. Good night.
I can. Can I hear you say I can? I Can is in the house tonight. Everything is going to be all right.
the honor to present to you the moral leader of our nation. I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. 100 years later, the Negro is still languished in the corners of American society and finds himself in exile in his own land. And so we've come here today to dramatize the shameful condition. In a sense, we've come to our nation's capital to cash a check. When the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. This note was to promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on this promissory note insofar as her citizens of color are concerned. Instead of honoring this sacred obligation, America has given the Negro people a bad check, a check which has come back marked insufficient funds.
Amen. Look, our vision and our goal here today was just to recreate, maybe give something back and show something to the younger generation to what our forefathers had to go through and how things were back in that time. Even for myself, and you know, we might have to ask some of the older generation how we did and get an approval from you, but this is a great day, and I think it's a great time. And I think we ought to continue just to lift up and continue to lift one another up and just continue to celebrate this awesome and magnificent moment. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. So that's really all we have for today. I think that's I think we've been out here quite long enough. Did everybody agree?